she's not very good right now, and I don't think it's that hard to fix her either, right? It's just the fact of the matter is Vikala is the only character in the game whose unique mechanic is a detriment over half the time. But also, weirdly, her unique mechanic seems to be where most of her fucking power budget went, because she's pretty bad outside of it, right? So it's like she's relying on her 5U to save her, right? But again, over half the time, like 60-70% of the time, it's somewhere between kind of nothing to genuinely detrimental. But yeah, let's get started. Let's talk about Vakala here for a sec, because I wanted to talk about both Vikala and Bubs. So we started the Uno run before I got to do any of that. So let's do that. Let's do that. Vikala. I mean, okay. Here's the thing, right? Do you get Uno to Mastery taking a break for him to yap? Today's Ladiva Day. We're gonna try and get some Ladiva GM grinding in. We'll play more Uno maybe on either the Sunday or maybe even the Thursday, depending on what we end up doing there. I'm glad you're okay. Get better soon. Thank you for giving. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit, again, I'm still, I can't hear anything out of the ear, but pain-wise, I'm feeling a lot better about it. But yeah, so Vikala, right? Vikala, I think it's not going to be too surprising to anyone to kind of talk about. Like, Vikala's not very good. Vikala's not very good. Vikala, after playing her as well, I do think she is probably my pick for the weakest character in the game. I think it would have been one of Nier or Vayne last patch, and Vayne I think he's shot past all of them. Like he's much higher up there at this point. Nier, not so much, but I think, you know, I do think Nier got slightly better. And honestly, Vikala's a little worse than I thought she was, even post buffs. But let's talk about why, right? I guess it'll be quicker to talk about. Let's talk about things that are good about Vikala first, I suppose, right? One, this far M is a surprisingly, like, this is kind of a standout button, right? Her far M's pretty nice, man. 7 frames, decently big, right? I did like this a lot. Far H is, I see the vision with this thing, right? I see the vision with this thing, but there is a very big hurtbox extension here at first, right? It's not super active. It's not quite as big as it looks either. It's like smaller. It's smaller than the animation would imply, right? You'd think this would be like hitting Beelzebub here, basically, right? But it really is not. So I mean, it's a good button. It's a good button. But to me, like, the big Vikala standout button really was this far M, right? And then obviously, I mean, the big thing about Vikala is that her good items, and it's gonna be kind of the main topic of discussion here, right? Vikala's good items are very good, right? Like Spike Ball just tossed out like this, right? This is like one of the better, just like neutral tools in the entire video game. This thing rolls forever, right? It's plus like 17 billion on hit or on block, right? Just very, like, if Vikala gets one of these and just places it down, you know, it's tough. Obviously, you can jump, you can do things like that, but I mean, she is sitting here, she can do things about that, right? It is very much like it's like a Jita charge fireball that she just gets to throw out immediately like this. Very, very nice for her. When it isn't causing combos to drop, at least. True, but that, you know, that's more of an edge case than anything. But yeah, it can like fuck with like a Raging Strike, Raging Chain. But yeah, so Spike Ball is very, very good, right? Star is also very, very good. Where you toss this out, it kind of bounces very similarly. Kind of like, this is like we talked about Fairy having probably the best super in the game. Someone described this as like a baby version of that Fairy super for no meter, and that's very fair, right? Like, it just kind of, it bounces up and down like this. It stays on screen for a long time, right? It controls a lot of screen space for you, right? Of course, the big difference between it and Fairy is that Star goes away when Vikala gets hit, whereas Fairy's does not. And also, it's, you know, it's smaller, it doesn't have as many hits, things like that. But, like, again, this is, like, a sort of baby version of the best super in the game that doesn't cost any meter. I would consider Star to be pretty ridiculous, right? Pretty, like, very, very good. Weirdly, a lot of her good items are, like, better when they're not fired out of the cannons, right? Because they, like, Star, I mean, Star, you could argue maybe is still fine, right? But it's kind of, it exhausts itself quicker than it otherwise would. Same thing with Spike Ball, right? The cannons are mostly there for combos in this case, not really neutral. But yeah, and a Bomb as well, very similar idea, right? The other sort of like really good item is Bomb. She tosses this down, and it just kind of stays here. And this one, if I remember correctly, I believe this is the one that doesn't go away on hit. Hold on, I'm confused. There you go. No, it does. Oh, it doesn't go away on block, right? Yeah, because I've definitely had people like pressuring me with a bomb out. And then they died. Yeah. It goes away. It doesn't go away on block. I don't think any of them go away on block. But yeah. So I mean, bombs also it just sits here, and again, it's like, okay, well, you got to deal with this now, right? And very notably, on like a Faust bomb or something, this like does not hurt Vikala. It only hurts the opponent. So like her good items are not just like, they're not okay. They're great, right? Bomb, Star, Spike Ball, these are like very, very strong things for her. It's not like, oh, you know, it's nice. They're incredible, right? They are some of the strongest things that any character can just do for no meter, right? Of course, the big thing is you don't have these most of the time, but we'll get into that in a second. You also keep missing your stream. Hello, sir. Nice, glad you could make it to one. I'm a little medicated today, so apologies. But, you know, we're talking about some Vikala. But yeah, so that's her good items are incredibly good, right? She has a couple of nice buttons, right? She has a couple of nice buttons, things like this. Is that it? No. Wait, is that really it? I was like, it's gonna be quicker to talk about the strengths of Vikala. I didn't think it would be that quick. There's no way, right? Is that it? I mean, like, a lot of her other buttons are, like, either okay to not great, right? Like, her far H is fine. Her far H is good, for sure. We can like, fit her far H in there, too. I like her far H. It's not, like, a truly exceptional thing, but, like, it's not bad. I mean... Hey, Brick, happy Tuesday. Hello. Is that it? She has the only air unblockable 2H of all, like, the pure zoners, but it is also very small, so, like, I don't know if I want to count that as a strength or it's kind of, like, a middling thing. There's no way, right? The projectile character makes sense. A lot of her sauces in the item specials. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I will say that this character, good or mid, she's pretty bad, actually. Oh, well, okay, I mean, bad in terms of, again, even, like, Vikala probably is the worst character in the game for my money, but even still, the worst character in the game in this patch of Grand Blue is significantly better than the worst character in the game was, you know, like, on release of this video game. Oh, I guess, you know, the traps, if you can get the traps set up, this is pretty good, right? Like, these, like, the stuff you can do with these traps, letting her combo off of her overheads, letting her combo off her throws, right? Letting her, if you, like, catch someone in the air with a 6XL or something, it continues combos, right? They can stop jumps, things like this. The traps are also pretty nice. Of course, again, though, as is the thing, like, those are sort of the only, like, the far M and the items are kind of the only things where I can just be like, this is good, right? Unequivocally. Because, like, the traps are good, but it's also a 44-frame animation, right? So, I mean, like, yes, you can just get it off a knockdown, certainly, right? But, like, in a lot of cases, you know, where you might, if you're just zoning someone from full screen, you might want to set these up as part of your zoning pattern, because they catch jumps, but not super jumps, so they can stop people from jumping, right? But, like, if you try to set these up as part of your zoning pattern, you are basically just reaction checking your opponents to see if they're going to react to you doing this for 44 frames and do something like this and kill you, right? So, again, it's like, so many things with Vikala are like, they're good, but, right? Yeah, I mean, we can talk about some of the stuff like that, right? Like, similarly, so, you know, the traps are good, especially on knockdown, but again, like we said, a lot of her stuff is, like, it's very fake unless you have, like, a hard knockdown like that. In terms of stuff that is like, weaknesses for Vikala, we'll get into the items last, but, one thing, too, is that, in general, a lot, like, basically everything she has can be rolled. I don't know if this should change or not, right? The only, like, non-rollable option that she has that exists in the whole fucking kit, basically, is El Dormouse right here. So what this leads to is that Vikala's up-close pressure is incredibly weak, right? Because if she does, you know, if she does any sort of normal, a lot of her normals are minus on block, right? A lot of her normals are punishable on block even, so you have to, like, make sure to cancel them. But when you cancel them, all of her cancel options, unless she has a really good item out, or unless she has this, right? Or, I mean, has this, she always have this, but this is punishable on block, right? So unless she risks dying by doing this point blank, everything else is rollable, right? This Dormouse is rollable, this Dormouse is rollable, the Cannon Spawn, this is the one that I thought, kind of like, I did not know this until this Vikala Master Run, and it's kind of what, like, real, I thought the cannons weren't rollable. I believe they are. Let me double check real quick. Let me get a second Vikala on here, make sure I'm not spreading misinformation. But I believe that even this Cannon Spawn, you can also roll this, which is truly quite heartbreaking, right? Right? Because there is a hitbox there. Like, there is a hitbox on the Cannon Spawn, right? But you can roll it. So if Vikala wants to cancel into literally anything on her pressure, her only options are something punishable on block. If you just down back, she's -8. The whole cast that isn't Uno, or even Uno's gonna get, like, a far L here, right? Like, the whole cast that isn't Uno is gonna get some kind of really nice punish on this. You know, everything else is rollable. Every other option that she could possibly do, besides, again, throwing a good item out, is gonna be rollable, right? The fellas are rollable as well, right? This doesn't even hit people point blank like that. I mean, the H fellas, I will say, like, if you're spaced out, you can make good use of the H fellas, right? But again, point blank, like her up close pressure like this is really quite awful. And now you might think, okay, well that's fine, right? Her whole thing is she's just gonna stay over here the whole time, right? This is kind of where we get into some other problems of like, Vikala is maybe of all of the, you know, if you think about Metera, Fairy, Vikala, she is the one who probably is the worst up close. Like, Metera has very scary offense with the butterflies, and she's got a lot of Brave counter safe stuff, infinite plus frames, very high damage in the corner, things like this. Fairy has, like, unironic 50-50s with Gigi, right? Like, high lows, sometimes multiple high lows in a single interaction. Vikala does not really have anything super good to do in your face like this until she gets a knockdown, so she has to, like, win the interaction first, right? And then she can start doing some trap shenaniganery potentially, right? But like, so she wants to be like the zoner who's at full screen kind of most often, right? Like if there's any character that can have an argument for like even when I get the knockdown, I'm just gonna sit here and zone you forever. It kind of is Vikala, except her zoning is really not that threatening without a good item, right? You keep noticing again, I keep mentioning good item, right? When I say good item, I mean like things like Star or Spike Ball or Bomb or at least like a Cannonball, right? Like the sort of default one. Her zoning is really not that spooky without it, because when we talk about her zoning, again, from here, a lot of this stuff is a really bad idea, right? It's a straight up like if anyone has any sort of like full screen like neutral skip U skill, which is like 60% of the cast has something like that, then doing this is just a reaction check, asking to die, essentially. Dormouse, this isn't even full screen, the non-rollable one, right? This one is sort of your default one, but it can be crouched, and if you crouch this from close enough, right? Like if you react to this, or even if you just down back expecting a Dormouse, and it happens to be the medium one, right? A lot of characters can straight up punish Vikala for this too, right? She's stuck for 50 frames. At long range like this, you're fine. But if you're like in this mid-range, you try to M Dormouse and you get crouched, right? Like any character with like a quick option can very easily punish you for it, right? So that's not so great either. The H Dormouse is fine, but it's also rollable, right? It loses to EX Fireballs. You know, the cannons, again, without really a good item in them, they don't really do too much as far as zoning, right? Again, the traps don't really work. You know, it's just not... So many matches you spammed Hado M until they discovered they could crouch. I mean, if you don't know, right? If you don't know that M Dormouse is crouchable, this move is pretty broken, right? Like, it's fast, it's plus on block, it knocks back a lot on hit. If you don't know you can crouch this, it's pretty broken. Unfortunately, that's not how we rate characters, right? The fact of the matter is, you can know you can crouch this, and then suddenly Vikala has a much harder time. So she wants to spend the most time zoning out of any of the zoners, but her zoning patterns, again, just aren't really that good unless, again, I want to keep harkening back to this, right? She gets one of these, right? She gets like a star or something like that. Like, suddenly this is like, this shit is incredibly dominant on screen, right? Whether it's Star or Spike Ball, or if you have like two cannons both firing it off, right? You can be incredibly plus, it can do a lot of damage, it can lead to conversions from full screen, because of just how much goddamn, like, hit stun this thing has, right? Like, I believe, you know, like, sometimes, yeah. I guess if they're knocked up. But even still, I think even you probably do something like that, right? Yeah, right. Like straight up full screen conversions off nothing because of how much pause it has. And I mean, I'd say 4,000 damage off of basically like from literally anywhere on the screen. That's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. So like once you have good items, her zoning's pretty good. You don't really get the good items that much, man. And even, you know, again, it's inherently inconsistent, right? She is reliant on them. She's not really that spooky without them. Can she not zone at all? No, I mean, she's still a zoner, but like, her zoning is just outright worse than Metera and Fairy's both, unless she has those good items. And she can't even be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna run in, like Metera and Fairy can do sometimes, because she really is just not very good at this distance, right? She really, like, her pressure is bad, her damage is not particularly high, right? So, yeah, bad up close pressure, can't really zone you out at full screen as impressively as the rest of the cast without some good, or the rest of the zoning cast, without some good RNG, right? And then I guess we can finally talk about it too. The items, so I've been fixating on the really good items, right? I've been fixating on the really good items. Vikala has, let's see, she has 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. Right, she has 8 items. You notice I said 3 of them were really, really good. Heart and Cheese are actively detrimental. They're horrible. They're terrible. Right, like these are straight up like bad rolls. Right, like this is going to usually Thank God, since the buff, you can at least see that you have this and just not use it. But these basically lock you out of your strongest, like the strongest aspect of your character until you stop rolling them. In a kind of similar manner, Ball is also pretty horrible, man. It does nothing on like 5U throw like this, right? And it's really horrible out of the cannons. So it has such little hit stun and such little damage that oftentimes it's not even worth using this in Vikala's combos, right? Like, you would be better served using, like, not using the items in the combo and going for something else, right? Even in the corner, a lot of the times, like, you're better served just, like, extending off this cannon launch with something else rather than shooting your ball, right? So, Heart and Cheese are, like, straight up, they're as bad as, like, Star or Spike Ball or something are good, right? And then Ball is also bad. Like, usually, it's not like it's gonna lock you out of your 5U, but she's just not, like, that's not special, right? Everything that we talk about in terms of, oh, if she has a good item, she has good pressure. If she has a good item, she has good zoning. These don't count, right? So even still, you're not really getting value out of your unique mechanic on this, right? We can talk about Smoke Bomb as well, which is... I don't know what this is supposed to do. I'm not sure if she's supposed to, like, throw this and then, like, 6XM or something. And then, like, maybe she can freak you out with it, like, every now and then, right? I guess. I feel like this needs to either, like, I think I see the idea with this. I feel like this either needs to last for longer, or the smoke cloud needs to be bigger, or something like that. Because a lot of the times right now, like, if you, like, get a knockdown on someone and you, like, toss the smoke bomb, by the time that they're back up, like, the fucking smoke is gone, man, right? And, like, if, what, you're gonna, like, set up smoke bomb and, like, a trap or something? Because, like, the only place I could even see this being remotely good is, like, you have a trap behind someone, you throw smoke bomb down, they don't see the overhead, and then you can combo off the overhead, right? Like, what knockdown do you have, like, what knockdown do you have where you have enough plus frames to both set up a trap and throw the smoke bomb down? It doesn't exist, right? So, like, smoke bomb is, it's even worse than Ball, in my opinion. It's not as bad as Heart or Cheese, because they are literally detrimental if you use them wrong. But, like, it's also just another, right? And also, this, to my understanding, I mean, people have told me that if you turn your graphics settings all the way down, this shit doesn't even work. There's no smoke cloud here, so it's even worse, right? So that's 4, like, bad to horrible items. And then Cannonball's not bad, right? It still doesn't have the same kind of, like, oomph for zoning, like we talked about. Like, you know, again, her zoning is only good if she has a good item, right? Zoning or pressure or anything like that. But at least this will actually let her get, like, better conversions in the corner than she could otherwise, right? It lets her get her heavies out, so it does, like, help with her damage a little bit, right? So, like, at least this is not, like, a bad item, I would say, right? This is, like, we are finally in, like, the range of, like, this is, like, a mid item, right? It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great, right? It's fine. All right. So we have 4 items that are bad to, like, completely terrible. 1 item that is mid. 3 items that are very good. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the most common options, the default option, is Ball and Cannonball, because not all of Vikala's items have the same chance to spawn, right? Not all of Vikala's items have the same chance to spawn. So, you know, you just end up the lion's share of the time, like over 50% of the time. I don't know the exact, I think Star is 10%, I think Spike Ball is 10%, I think Bomb is the most rare. I think Bomb might be like 5% or something like that. I might be mixing up, maybe it's like Spike Ball's 15, Star is 10, Bomb is 5 or something like that. But like 70% of the time, hypothetically, it's somewhere around there. People have data mined Vicky's item rates, but I forget what they are. But like a lion's share of the time, you're not going to have your good items on Vakala. Now, what does this mean? Say that, you know, 70% of the time is about right. That means that 70% of the time, you don't have good zoning as a character that wants to zone the whole way, right? 70% of the time, you don't really have any good pressure options up close. This is, by the way, this is still like a generous reading, because hidden within that 70% is like a 30-40% of the time where you get Ball, Heart, or Cheese. Where not only do you not, like, have good options, you have literally no options. That mechanic essentially disappears from your character, right? So, this is sort of the crux of it, right? I think Vikala's problem is her items just fucking suck. Like, this mechanic, they've been trying to improve it, and they did improve it. Can you believe that at some point, Vikala could not see what item she was going to get next? So it was just straight up, it was like this existed, it was just invisible, it was hidden, and the Vikala had to, like, when they hit 5U, they had to, like, react to what item came up, like, cancel the charge if they didn't want it, or, like, if they did cannons mid-combo, they'd have to, like, hope it was something good, and if they fucked up and, like, shot hearts, it would, like, you would heal your opponent on, like, because you failed a reaction check that your own character forced on you, right? Hearts and cheese didn't even have a hitbox last patch, so, like, say I got heart right now and I fired it out of the cannon, right? Out of the cannon? You see how they still kind of knock her up like that? They wouldn't do that last patch. They would just heal her and the combo would drop. And I think a lot of the times, because there was literally no hit stun on it too, Vakala will be minus after this, right? She would, like, shoot the heart and be minus. So her items were even worse. Like, they were god-awful when she released. And she was a sad, sad rat girl when she released, right? Huge buff to let you see them. And it's nice they buffed Spike Ball, they buffed Star, things like this, right? Is Vakala still fun RNG, or do her items go to more frustrating than fun? I mean, it's fun keeping track of them just because it is a nice little mini game there, but it does often end up, like, there are multiple times, I know humans are bad with RNG and it's a confirmation bias thing, but there are multiple times where I was like, oh, ball, cannonball, okay, ball again, oh, I got a star, ball, hearts, ball, cheese, ball, oh, spike ball, bomb, oh my god, we're cooking, ball, and the whole time you're on ball, basically, you just don't have a 5U, right? Ball or worse is just she doesn't have a 5U. So I think Vakala's big problem is her items just fucking suck. An interesting buff for her, right? I feel like I'm doing better, Frozen Fox. I'm still a little fucked up, but we're doing better. It means if you get a good item, there's a major pressure to make use of it, lest you waste the good RNG. Yeah, exactly. Right? So, like, I think a very easy fix for Vikala, Brick's dog, ball. Yeah. A very easy fix for Vikala is this just needs to be better. I don't think Vikala would be broken if her items were better, right? I don't know that they would ever remove items outright, you know what I mean? So, like, maybe they're never going to remove heart or cheese or ball or something like that, right? But I think we can just... I don't think Vikala needs bad items, right? Like, point blank, period. I don't think Vikala needs bad items in her pool. I don't think she's, like, broken if, like, okay, like, say, for example, right? They should remove Smoke Bomb. Say, for example, right? Say, for example, that every item below Cannonball, right? Like ball, hearts, cheese, and Smoke Bomb, right? Ball, hearts, cheese, and Smoke Bomb all get upgraded to have the hit effect of Cannonball. Right? So they're at least useful in corner combos like this. So she can always do something like this into heavy if she has the cooldown, right? Every item below, like, so that's ball, heart, cheese, and smoke bomb, all get upgraded to have the hit effect of cannonball. And heart and cheese can only heal Vikala. Or give Vikala meter. Like not even in a mirror, only you, right? Like they can, only you can pick them up. If you shoot them through an opponent, maybe then they go away, right? Harmlessly. So if you shoot them at an opponent, you are giving up on the potential health of the meter, but they just can't heal your opponent, right? If Vikala wants, she can drop the heart in front of her and, like, run up on it and get some health, or drop the cheese in front of her and run up on it and get health or something like that. But if she fires them at the opponent, nothing happens. That's part of the fun of item toss characters. I don't think so, man. All of Faust's items are good. They can be used against him. Right? They can be used against him, but they're all good, right? Having just bad items is just not fun, really, right? If you want to have more interactivity with Vikala's items, right? Like if you want to make it so that maybe you can have something like bomb can hurt her or something like that. You know what I mean? Bomb can hurt her because right now it can't, but she just 70% of the time her items suck. Yeah, exactly. Lawayne never pops out 5U and loses health, right? He has good options and better options, but make sure Cannonball doesn't do the infinite. Her only infinite is with Star. Star is a very unique thing, right? Lawayne doesn't even poison, so why should Vikala have bad items? I agree. Like, I think like the bottom four just need to be brought up significantly. There should be no, like, ball, hearts, cheese, and smoke bomb all need to be better. Either just make them all have the hit effect of Cannonball, and then, you know, I don't know what the difference between ball and cannonball is at that point. Maybe. Or how about this? Make heart, cheese, and smoke bomb work like cannonball, and make ball be like a really bad star or something like that. Like maybe ball bounces once when you toss it. Thoughts? like when it 5Us like this. So ball is at least like the most common option is ball, right? Make ball like actually useful for zoning. You see how star bounces like 5 times? 3, 4, 5, right? Make ball bounce like once or twice or something like that. Ball works like a ball? Yes, exactly, right? It looks like a bouncy little beach ball. Make it a bouncy little beach ball. Make it a worse star, right? When I 5U it like this, make it go like boom, boom, and then disappear, right? Not nearly as good as star, but like it can still give her something to use for her zoning. I don't know, right? Lane doesn't get anything if he gets HP or full bar at full bar. Clearly it's bad, so true, bestie. But yeah, so like it's just, I don't think Vikala needs, especially with how high up like the floor of the game has been pulled up, I don't think Vikala needs 4 bad items. She has 3 really good ones, a pretty average one, and 4 horrendous ones, right? Smoke Bomb, I don't know. If you buff Smoke Bomb too much, it could very quickly become very annoying, right? It's like, you know, maybe keep this like this like Smoke Bomb effect, make it a very situational thing. Maybe sometimes it comes up, but again, I think it just needs to be useful for something other than that, right? This shit, like, I don't know what this shit like needs to launch on hit. It needs to do something, right? Its only use cannot be basically to troll myself mid combo, right? Give it the cannonball hit effect and leave it as is, as far as I'm concerned. It probably then would be obviously the worst item, but like whatever, right? Smoke Bomb now lasts 5 seconds. Maybe it drains meter while they're in it. I'm not sure. But yeah, like, plain and simple, Vikala should not have 4 bad items. And also, like ball is her most common RNG. Like ball is the most likely outcome. It's like one of the worst items should not be her most common outcome. Now, I don't think we should like necessarily up the RNG on star or spike ball or something, like make it more likely for them to spawn. I think it's just bring the floor of her items up. You know what I mean? Even if, with everything I just mentioned, they are still significantly, like, you know, Cannonball right now works this way, right? Cannonball works this way. But, like, even with this, Cannonball is not as good as Star or as Spike Ball or as Bomb. Like, you don't, like, look at Cannonball and go, like, yes! But it's at least, like, okay, we can do something, right? Okay, cool. Like, I have options here, right? I can extend the combo, like, mid-screen, right? With, I think if you go quick, you can get, like, a far H here or something. I thought, anyway. Didn't I just do that a second ago? I forget now. Yeah, like I can extend some sort of combo mid-screen or something like that. Like it gives her something to do. I think all of her items should be at least this good. We can play the video game? Yeah, exactly. We can play the video game, right? I guess I'm just used to items in other fighting games being more interactive for both players and not her necessarily having bad items. Yeah, I mean, okay, if you want to make it more interactive, right? Like, I mean, Smoke Bomb, for example, it blocks the view of both players, right? I think maybe Bomb can hurt Vikala, right? Maybe Bomb can hurt Vikala if you want, but if she 5Us it out of a cannon, it probably shouldn't be able to. If 5Us it on the ground, maybe it can hurt her, right? Again, maybe Heart and Cheese can only heal the opponent if they get tossed like this, right? If I use them out of a cannon, I want them as a fucking combo tool, side games. I don't want to heal my opponent, right? Let me use them out of a cannon. Let them have the exact combo effect of Cannonball. If I 5U them, then maybe anyone could pick them up and heal them, and I get to choose. I would only do that when it's my go, right? When I would clearly be, make Bomb hit Vikala. Yes, I agree. Nerf the bottom 3 characters. Well, I mean, I'm saying, like, don't do it out of a cannon, right? But if you want to have, like, more interactivity, you can buff Vikala to shit and then make her items more interactive, right? I think, right, you can buff the, like, when she does this, right, she should be safe. Like, if she 5Us it and wants to play this mini game where cannon goes boom, right? Then maybe, yeah, sure. Right? If we're gonna buff her to shit, we can add some stuff like that for, like, the fun factor of the character design, right? But again, that's, like, Vikala can choose. If she doesn't want to deal with the bullshit, I think out of the cannon, I guess a general sentiment I think I have, out of the cannon, all of the items should be good, right? Out of the cannon, all of the items should be good. There should, like, I think that lends a lot of consistency to the character, right? So even, like, in this hypothetical scenario, right? Bomb does not hurt me if it comes out of the cannon, right? That will be adding interaction. That's fun to it. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, again, out of the cannon, Heart and Cheese cannot heal people. I don't think that Vikala works if they don't buff her normals. Her normals are not horrible, by the way. Like, her normals aren't that bad. I don't think she will stay bottom tier. I don't think Vikala's normals are the problem necessarily, right? I don't trust side games with 4 fun balancing while Lane is in this game. Is Lane, like, broken? It's not my my impression, but I don't think Vikala's normals are the reason she's bottom tier. I don't think it's really. I mean, 2M is certainly an interesting button, right? 2M is the worst. That's one button though, right? Like, her far M is actually quite exceptional. Far H is pretty decent. Far L is pretty solid. 2L for, like, a zoner, it being a low is okay, right? Probably the worst 2M in this game. But you said her normals, right? Having one bad button, you know, by that logic, Fairy has the worst 2L in the entire game, and she's, you know, a very strong character, right? I feel like the items are too integral for gameplay and combos instead of some fun sauce. Yeah, exactly. As far as I mean, it's not exception. It's pretty good, though. 7 frames, pretty big, right? I like it. Most of the ones are just average. The far M's pretty good. Like, the far M stands out to me, for sure. 7 frame far M with pretty decent range on it. I think far M is just her 7 frame option. Fair, yes. But it's, I mean, it's bigger than most 7 frame 2Ms, right? A lot of people's 2M is their 7 frame option, and it suffers size-wise for that reason. I would not call it good. I think it's good. Now, 2M's bad, for sure, right? But, like, far L's fine. Her close L is, like, a regular zoner close L. Her far H is fine, right? The problem, the reason Vikala is bottom 1 is not because of her normals, but certainly, right? Her normals are, overall, like, maybe slightly below average or something like that. It's great relative to her kit being vacuum installed. The 2H is a little depressing. True, but I mean, it's a very common zoner thing, right? She has a small 2H because she's a zoner, but, like, the sort of... Well, she has a bad 2H. So it's small, but it's the only air unblockable one, right? Matera and Fairy have much bigger 2Hs, but you can air block them. So, again, like, this is not a great 2H, but this is a very common thing in the zoner archetype. And again, if having a bad 2H makes you bad, then I guess Matera and Fairy are also bottom 1, and I don't think anyone's going to agree on that these days, right? I think the big thing is, Vikala does have bad pressure, like we talked about, right? Vikala has bad pressure because her normals, a lot of them are minus, so they have to be cancelled, and a lot of her cancels are not very good, right? So I think, clearly, what Vikala is supposed to... Like, Vikala is the zoner that actually zones the whole game. That's what they want her to be, right? They want Vikala to be, like, the... Because Matera and Fairy, they both transition to, like, a very in-your-face, like, rush-down playstyle when they get the knockdown on the corner here. Vikala's not as good as that, at that, right? So we could make her better at that, or we could make her, you know, actually, like, even when you're in the corner like this, she just keeps zoning your ass. The problem is, her zoning, as it stands, kind of fucking suck, right? Her zoning is not good. And a lot of it is based on the fact that she's, like, her zoning is somewhat reliant on items, and 70% of the time, her items are garbage. Armatera and Fairy plus when you airblock 2H depends. They can be slightly plus, they can be slightly minus, depending on where you do it, depending on how close to them you are, how high up off the ground you are, right? I think it's high, yeah, right, because they kind of follow a diagonal angle, right? She gets outzoned from most Shotos, yeah, so I think the reason Vikala sucks is she's a character that is, like, she is the most zoning zoner, because she can't even transition into a good, like, up-close game plan, but her zoning is worse than Fairy and Matera's, right? So if we buff her items and make all of them useful in some capacity, right, then I think that helps her zoning a lot, because her zoning is clearly designed to rely on the items. Just Dormouse is not enough, right? Dormouse does not a coherent zoning game plan make, right? So she's supposed to also have, like, shit firing out of the cannons, right? She's supposed to also have, like, you know, a star or a spike ball every now and then, like, bouncing across the screen. So if her items didn't suck ass, right, maybe that would help a lot. And again, Ball, I think Ball is her most common item, right? Is the one with the highest chance. If Ball had a 5U effect that was like a bad version of Star, again, if Ball went like bounce, bounce, disappear, right? Star bounces 5 times when you 5U. What the hell? If Ball went like bounce, bounce, stop, then her most consistently there item would still have some sort of use, some sort of screen control, right? Because it can have a bad hit effect, it can be bad for confirms, whatever, right? But it can still have some sort of screen control built into the most common item in her kit, and the items are incredibly important for her zoning, right? You can keep, you do need some momentum to run past it. For the traps, yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on the character, for sure. But I mean, again, these are not zoning tools, right? Very, like, clearly, these are Oki tools, right? These are like someone wakes up into this, right? They're not meant to be zoning tools, and if you try to use them as zoning tools in a game with full screen U neutral skips, you're going to die, and, you know, but again, like, you know, if we're only gonna give her the one zoning tool, right? Seox needs no momentum. That is Seox, to be fair, though, right? Seox, I mean, he can run past, like, CAG traps as well, right? He just runs past them clean. Like, from a standstill, he runs through CAG's traps and they can't hit him. Seox is a bit of a different beast. But yeah, so I think if we made her items more consistently good, more consistently rewarding, and made her most common item actually have some zoning use, I think that would be pretty nice, right? That'd be pretty nice. So there's no to be fair with a character's cooldown being pointless. You think this is pointless? It's pointless for zoning. That's correct. Yeah. I mean, it's not even that. Even that, it's not pointless for zoning, right? This is like, you know, this is an Oki tool. No. What do you mean about pointless? Let's not go crazy, right? Either buff her and make her items interactable, or buff items make her full zoner, make her a full zoner full of projectiles. Yeah, I mean, I think they clearly want her to be like the fullest full zoner, right? But like, she just doesn't do it. She doesn't have it, right? She does not have it. She simply does not have the tools. And again, I think a big part of it is that her zoning is balanced around items, and her items suck. Her items are awful. Her items are garbage, right? Still, all they did basically, like letting her see the items is huge because she has so many bad items that you don't want to use that now you can avoid accidentally doing it. But that does not change the fact that her items are still bad, right? Her items suck. Like, the most common one, Ball, here is basically worthless. And then Hearts, Cheese, and Smoke Bomb are also, like, basically, you don't have a 5U when you roll them. So I think, you know, as a start, athlete, you can buff a lot. If you wanted to buff Vikala, there's a lot of places of weakness, right? But I think the problem with Vikala, right? The problem with Vikala, if I had to summarize it, right? Is that Vikala is a character with no strengths, right? Vikala is a character where a lot of these, like, zoner archetype characters are meant to be sort of jagged, right? They're very good at something, and they're very bad at something else, right? And then it's like, depending on how much exactly that balances out, we get there, right? Vikala she's built like a character whose big weakness is, you know, her defense is not great, right? Just generally, like, you know, bad buttons to defend herself, except for this far M, right? Like, in contention for worst metered reversal in the video game outside of Asaraga, right? And her offense, like, up close, like here, is also bad, because all of her cancel options they all lose to roll, except for one that is very punishable on block, right? So, she's got big weaknesses. You would think that the balancing factor here is that she will be like the best zoner in the game, right? As far as her zoning, she would have the hardest to get past zoning in the entire game. Because these weaknesses, I think, make sense for like a prototypical zoner, right? While a lot of zoners do usually have very good knockdown offense, like, just in theory, a zoner who's like bad in your face and bad on defense, that's not like a weird concept, right? But you would think then that between her, Matera, and Fairy, she would have the best zoning gameplay. She would be the hardest to get in on, and it's the exact opposite. She has the weakest zoning game plan. Even like some of the characters that are not really full zoners zone better than her, right? She's got like worse zoning than Eustace, worse zoning than Uno, right? Bro, she's got worse zoning than Catalina, I swear to God. Just Catalina doing this over and over might be better than Vikala, right? Like, Cat just, for some reason, they buffed Catalina's M Fireball, right? Her just doing this over and over might be a better fucking zoning game plan than Vikala has currently. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, Bubs, right? She gets outzoned by, like, Avatar Belial. So it's like, you know, what does she do? Right? What does she do? Like, what is her strength? And I think I know what Cygames thinks that it is, and they're not wrong, right? Vikala's strength is that when, like, say, for example, you could plug a controller up the RNG's ass, right? And you just, like, get, you know, a lot of, like, your round looks like cannonball, you know, like star, bomb, cannonball, like spike ball, star, cannonball, bomb, spike ball, star. Vikala is going to start to get incredibly unfair if she does shit like that, right? One star out on the field, and suddenly Vikala feels like she's like, okay, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, why did they let this character be this way, right? Like, why is she in the video game? Star, spike ball, things like this, she, like, instantly wins the interaction a lot of the times, right? The problem is that is not good enough. That is not common enough. That is not common enough, and that is not good enough, right? For how often her other items are complete ass, not just okay, they're complete ass, and for how bad she is without it, every now and then getting like a few stars or something like that, right? It's not good enough. It's not a good enough thing to like hang a character on, right? To like just be like, okay, this is the character's thing. Is sometimes she'll get lucky and then, whoa boy, just watch out. Then she gets you projectiled once, yeah. Is a regular ball a bad projectile or just average? It's terrible. It does nothing, man. It does nothing on 5U, and it's so bad out of the cannons, it's literally not worth using in most circumstances. Like, you would literally rather just do cannon into a different follow-up. Like, if you're in the corner, you would like rather do like cannon into medium instead of using the ball. It's garbage. It's horrible, right? So I don't think they're gonna remove Vikala's items, but they need to buff these bottom four, right? They need to buff Ball, Hearts, Cheese, and Smoke Bomb, they need to buff them a lot, right? They need to buff them a lot. They need to get significantly better. Again, my current, if I had to suggest something, right? I think Heart and Cheese and Smoke Bomb should all have the same on-hit effect when fired out of a cannon as Cannonball, right? So she has very, very consistent, like, good conversions here, right? And Heart and Cheese also should only heal if they're 5U. They can only heal, someone other than Vikala if they're 5U'd. If they're shot out of a cannon, right, they should be unable to heal or give meter to the opponents, right? And then Ball, we can keep Ball with a bad hit effect, but I think Ball, since it's our most common item, right, I think Ball should actually have, like, some zoning use when I 5U it like this. And again, my suggestion would be, like, if this thing, like, bounced twice, you know? Like, I make it, like, a really bad version of Star. Just to show everyone again, right? Like, Star goes 1, 2, hits Catalina, 3, 4, right? It goes forever. If you just made Ball do half of that, it went 1, 2, maybe it doesn't even get the cat from full screen. But it just, like, holds some space there or something, right? Yeah, it's a beach ball. It should make it bouncy. It's not as good as Star, but, like, make it go, like, 1, 2, and it disappears somewhere in that third arc, right? But it still, like, covers a lot of space on the screen when I have it. It's something you have to deal with, right? That, I don't even know if that's enough, right? She might still not be great, but I do think that would actually start really getting at the heart of the problem of this character, and it's that she kind of doesn't really do anything, right? Her and Nier are bad in very different ways, despite being very close to each other, I think. Nier has an incredibly strong strength in that she has like, basically the second, like, highest, probably. The second highest, like, resourceless damage in the game, outside of, like, Blade level 5 Lucilius, right? Just any poke in the mid-screen, no one is gonna get more damage off of that. Not using any meter, or even sometimes using meter in the mid-screen, than Nier, unless your name is BL5 Lucilius, right? Now, the thing that fucks Nier up is that her, like, sort of the disadvantage state, Deathless Nier, is the single worst thing that any character has in the whole video game by a factor of about 15, right? So, like, Vikala, even, like, Star and Spike Ball and stuff like that, I don't know if they're quite as good as Nier, like, one-shotting a guy from half health when she, like, far M's you or far H's you when you're over here in the mid-screen, right? But, you know, sure, but those highs are very inaccessible to her. And then she's not as bad as Deathless Nier, certainly, but she's just kind of genuinely all around below average or bad, right? Everything about her is just kind of not great, right? They come about it honestly, but they come about it in two very different ways. The way that, like, Vikala is bad and Nier is bad are very different, right? Very, very different. Nier is sort of just like, she's very jagged, but, like, that weakness is just too much. Vikala is just kind of bad all the way around, and, like, the one thing she has is just not enough. It's not enough to make up for the general bullshit there. Oh my god, a bot. Can you believe this? Wait. How do you ban people again? There you go. Get away from here, bot. Bot Pog. I had a Raging Strike unblockable once and God punished me for my hubris. Yeah, but I mean, Vikala, she's just not very good, right? I don't think I have a problem with her having bad pressure. I don't think I have a problem with her having bad defense, right? It's not the worst thing in the world. I just want her, to be a zoner. Is that so bad? I want her to actually be a zoner, because she just isn't, man. She can't even zone out Ladiva that well, right? She can't even zone out anyone that well, man. It's why, like, this, also, this maybe, like, shouldn't, you know, the EX Dormouse should clash with EX Fireballs, please, right? This can't go on, right? That can't happen. She can't just lose to, like, every Shoto who has a Fireball, right? She can't just get outzoned by fucking Gran. It's not fair, right? It's not fair. Like, little thing is, yeah, I know I didn't mention this so far, but, like, this can't go on, right? We can't do this. I know it's a strike, whatever. I mean, listen, man, you know what else is a fucking strike? Because I don't want to hear no excuses, Psy Games. You know what else is a fucking strike that you did not give this problem to? Is that because it's one hit or because it's not a projectile? It's because it's not a projectile and it's one hit, right? But you know what else does this? That's a strike too, man.
What's the matter?
Right? That's a strike too, and not only does it not lose to the EX Fireball, it beats it outright. Right? So, there's no, and Uno's not even a zoner. Now again, Uno is kind of the game's, like, premier anti-zoner, so I understand why he has this, right? But, like, Vikala should at least clash, you know? It should at least EX Dormouse and an EX Fireball. They should at least, like, both kill each other, right? Like, if she does this and I do that, both the projectiles disappear and we're good, right? Like, please, why, right? Why? Narmaya, I mean, Narmaya can have it. Narmaya's good enough already, and also it's not really, you know, Setsuna is not really it's good enough without winning Fireball Wars. But like Vikala is a zoner. That's her thing, man. Right? Calling yourself an anti-zoner and not being a rushdown should be illegal. That's the funny part is Uno is one of the better rushdown characters in the video game too, because he has in discussion for the best throw bait in the game and an infinite amount of ways to be plus on block to force you to spend your BP. Uno just kind of does. He's a really good anti-zoner. He's a good zoner. He's a good rushdown character. He's pretty solid in the mid-range. Uno is the game's all-rounder basically. I don't think anyone beats Eustace full screen. Yeah, it depends. Owlbear's Uno can do it, honestly. Uno can at least tie with his ass full screen. Plus parry him and just kill him from there. But, yeah, so that's kind of thing, right? Please make Vikala a zone, essentially. Long story short. Because she's not very good right now. And I don't think it's that hard to fix her, either. Right? It's just, the fact of the matter is, Vikala is the only character in the game whose unique mechanic is a detriment over half the time. But also, weirdly, her unique mechanic seems to be where most of her fucking power budget went, because she's pretty bad outside of it. Right? So it's like she's relying on her 5U to save her, right? But again, over half the time, like 60-70% of the time, it's somewhere between kind of nothing to genuinely detrimental. So it feels like, I mean, it's a character design that, how is this not supposed to fail, right? How is she not supposed to end up being bad? Right? But yeah. I mean, we can take a look at the tier list. I don't think anyone's gonna be too surprised though. Yeah, okay, so here's this basically. The only thing that changes here, right? I want to actually focus in on the thing we're talking about and not get distracted all the time, right? But he is just worse than Nier, I think, right? After playing her and thinking about it for a little bit, I think she is worse than Nier. I don't think it's really like she just doesn't really have anything. Like Nier can still threaten you, right? We say she's a tier worse than Nier. Are they close enough? No, she's not a tier worse. If anything, you could argue that maybe both of these two could go down a tier here. Because, you know, even though I'm not very high on Charlotta, I do think Charlotta is noticeably better than both of these two, right? So you could very much argue you move both of these guys down one. But no, they are both still in purgatory together, I think. Though the only difference now is last patch, I would have said that Nier was probably worse. I think Nier got slightly better. Right? It's like they wanted her to be a full-on joke character, but then balked at the end? Yeah, like a little bit, right? Like he's got kind of joke character energy. But like then they actually tried to give her like a bit more of a coherence kit, but it just kind of, again, it ends up, she feels kind of joke character, right? They're functional characters at least, and there's clear intent to improve them. Yes. I mean, again, I think they already like, they're on the right track, right? Vikala is a lot better this patch than she was last patch, for sure, right? So that's at least nice. She needs a little bit more though. She needs a little bit more, right? Especially as, well, you know, when you keep buffing the bottom tiers, things like this, right? She really starts to stick out a little bit, right? She's a joke while they rework her by making items visible in such a major way. No, she's not a joke character, but like Midnight is saying, like her design feels like that of a joke character. They pivoted into trying to be a real character last second, right? It's weird because Strive Faust functions fine even when items aren't on his side. I mean, it's a very different game, so it's hard to make comparisons to it, right? But as far as I understand it too, you know, the items aren't like the only good thing about Faust, basically, right? He's also, you know, he's got like a really, he's very evasive, got a very evasive duck, right? He's got very big normals, he controls a lot of the screen, things like this, right? Very hard to compare, like, you know, oh, Faust works like this, so Vikala should work like this too, but at least the idea of, like, there's more to him besides just items. So even when the items aren't going his way, he still has something to do. Whereas Vikala, really the only thing that you can write home about at all besides her items is, I like her far M, right? It's kind of about it, though. I mean, it really is about it. The most impressed character sharing a tier with one of the more optimistic characters, at least with the ears on. Yep. They should buff Vikala to the moon, but add earless Vikala. A 10% chance every time she receives any kind of hit for the ears to drop off. And then she gets all the deathless Nier debuffs for a good like 30 seconds or something like that. But yeah, man, a little bit of help. A little bit of help for the rat girl.